Hey everyone, Steve here for Who Took My Dice, Ultramarines Beyond, and today we're going to be looking at conversions. Now, if you don't know what a conversion is, you ever seen one? Conversions are pretty simple. It's where you take an existing model, say for 400 or 40,000, and you modify it. You change it, you add some character to it, you cut something here, you paste something here, green stuff here, or even better yet, kit bashing something together in order to create something brand new. I love converting stuff, and I want to show you guys just how easy it can be. I've got some awesome examples here, some very basic stuff to something a bit more complex. I love converting, and I think it's a great way to take things like your characters, whether it's HQ choices, leaders, what have you, heroes, lords, whatever you want to call it, forever game. It's a great way to personalize them, to kind of put yourself on the tabletop, or better yet, give that. I mean, we look at it nowadays, a lot of these characters are monopose, they have one pose to them, and it's great to change them up, to give them some character, to make it your own. So without further ado, here we go. This is a very simple one. This is a special edition model back from 4th edition you get at Games Day and the such. It was supposed to be some sort of veteran. It came with a metal backpack with a cool banner on it, and the left arm here was actually a massive storm bolter. So this one I designed up as my 9th company captain. So this one's pretty basic. It's just an arm swap. So we have just a Space Marine arm here with a chain sword. Obviously a Space Marine, an Ultramarine shoulder pad, and the backpack from a Devastator Sergeant. Very basic, gives a lot of character. He stands out, and it makes it look more appropriate for a captain. He's got the cool little details here, purity seals, extra armor on there. But yeah, so that's a very basic one. It's just simply bit swaps, right? And you may know this awesome gent here. This is my slightly converted Primaris Lieutenant here. It was one of those sort of test models that came with a How to Play 40K magazine I purchased way back in 8th edition. This is again more of a bit swap and a slight conversion. This head here is from an Ultramarines upgrade sprue back in the day before Primaris. And the only other thing here is the magazine on his bolter rifle I clipped off and put on a Storm Bolter magazine. Of course, with some extra painting, adding some golds here, some trim there, just to make him sort of stand out a bit more. He is now Lieutenant. Again, this is just a bit swap for the head there instead of the standard helmet, and replacing the magazine with a Stormbolter magazine. That's one of the benefits of having extra bits lying about. You can kind of do some cool stuff here. So this guy goes from just being a standard Marine to a Lieutenant pretty quickly. Okay, so this is my favorite form of conversion, when you kit bash stuff together with all the bits you have. So I had a whole ton of high elf characters. Well, characters, I should say, and a whole army of them. Some of it I sold off, but these guys I decided to turn into an Ulthway army using different bits. So this gentleman here is made of parts from high elf spearmen and high elf archers, and I just painted him up to look like a Black Storm Guardian. This same thing here, he is actually a warlock, this one here. That's why he's got the cool spear. Again, this is just parts from high elf spearmen and the archers units put together. Really basic stuff, and then you just paint it up to look like the army you want. Pretty cool. Again, it's the fun part of having an extensive bits collection, but anybody can do this. Just put units, or make your own units out of similar parts, and you can come up with some cool stuff like this. Very fun. Now this one I am particularly proud of. So again, trying to make my own sort of Ulthway army out of bits I had. This is my version of Azerman. So this one is pretty cool. He's made out of different parts. You've got the body from a lion chariot guy. The head here is from a high elf lord, along with the wings. The back, I believe, is from the command of the high elf spearmen, and the base here is actually from a mounted high elf. The arms are from, I believe, if I'm trying to remember correctly, they're from different parts. They are from the the archer set. And of course, the two guns here, the Bloody Twins, as they're called, are actually old school Dark Eldar pistols. So a very cool model came together. Again, this is made of extensive bits here, a lot of it, again, high elf, and just messing around and trying to figure out the best way to make it appear somewhat like the character he's representing. I went with the same colors, obviously a little bit different here because he's not exactly the same model, but I think it turned out really, really well. And that's part of, that's I think one of my favorite parts of converting, is able to take something, different parts, and turn them into something completely different. This is a bit more extensive, trying to find the right parts to fit, because some of these kits don't fit well, even if they're from the same army. You kind of have to play with it a little bit. This one, again, shaving certain parts here to make these arms fit, checking angles, trying to find pits. It also goes back to looking at images of the actual model to find parts that are relatively close to what you're looking for, right? You know, I painted up some of the gems here on his armor, his head there. You can just see the little gem right there. Trying to make it look as Eldari as possible, while it obviously isn't Eldari. I think it turned out really well, though. Now this one here is my crowning achievement. So this guy goes back to the original version of Apocalypse. Yes, the 40k game where you have massive armies facing off against each other. And one of the cool things that they really wanted to do back in the day was come up with your own Apocalypse formations or Apocalypse units. And I was inspired by an image in the Tales of Heresy artwork collection book. I think there's been a couple of them now. This is one of the original ones. And in it, in a very small picture, does have some good detail, is a picture of what's called a Lehman's Thunder Rhino. And I had to count the Marines in it, but it was actually just a bigger Rhino, open top with a ton of Space Wolves. Obviously Lehman Russ, lots of Space Wolves. But I decided, as I was doing Black Templar, to create my own. Now, obviously, at the basis, it's two rhinos put together for about 75% put together. Obviously, there would be a tread here and one there, but that was why you slam them together and you now have a different vehicle, a larger vehicle. And of course, I painted up a little Black Templar Space Marine with a Storm Bolter. Obviously, this is, again, made from different parts, so that's a lot of kit bashing here. This is from a Terminator, but it's also in the arm of a Space Marine. And so basically, I built two parts of it, put together, had to build these specialized doors. I want something to kind of come up, make it look a bit more difficult, but you paint the inside. Now, this is also kind of very basic. I basically built 2/3 of two models and then put them together. It is a little off kilter, but that's okay. But it turned out really, really well, and I was very, very happy with it. Again, it's a cool thing. That's why I love keeping things like old White Dwarfs, old codexes, because you can get ideas or even art books and apply them to your models and convert something really, really cool. I don't know how I use it now, but it was great fun to have. I used it in a few games. I made it really fast, durable. It could pump out 20 Space Marines. It was fun in Apocalypse, which is exactly what you want from this hobby, for it to be fun and exciting. But yeah, so, and again, it's just a lot of the same stuff. I even paint the inside there. I have a couple of radar systems and computer screens up. Very, very cool. And a lot of fun to play with and put together. So I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. This is sort of an introduction, I guess, into putting conversions together. I've seen lots of people do amazing ones out there. Just take a look. It's great stuff. Mine is, I would consider, still sort of amateurish, but it was a lot of fun. And it is a great way to add character to your armies. Especially, as I said before, nowadays, where a lot of the characters are monopose. You don't have a lot of options anymore. You buy whatever Space Marine Lieutenant you want, there's so many of them, or you buy an Orc character or an Orc this or a Chaos Space Marine, they all have the same pose. So it's great to change them up a little bit, to give them character, to make them fit your army. I remember articles long ago in the White Dwarf that talk about how you were the commander you're putting down was you on the battlefield. So why not make your character just the coolest one you possibly can? Because that's what it's about, the rule of cool. Just go and have fun. And even building units that don't exist yet, or building your own variation on a unit. I've seen lots of people take stuff from fantasy like I did there, and using other bits turn stuff into walkers. I've seen lots of orc Bad Moon walkers there, made of that big Bad Moon terrain piece they had. I've seen lots of people like build Gorkanauts or Morkanauts out of a Mr. Potato Head. It's cool stuff. I remember at one point when I worked at Games Workshop many years ago, one of the guys at the head office, when Canada still had one, built a Gorkanaut, a Stompa out of a, which was it? And I can't remember that, one of those Disney robot things. I can't remember the name of it. It slips my mind now. But, or Wall-E, that was it. They built one out of a Wall-E toy. You can convert whatever you want. It fit the same size. It looked good. It was good to go, and it looked fantastic and different on the table. Very unique for that army. So I hope this inspired you. I hope it got you thinking about stuff. I know right now it's always big on the meta, but I think there's a lot of to the creative side hobby that isn't being explored as much as it could have. It is kind of disappeared a bit. And I hope to see that come back a bit more with these cool armies. And I hope to see, if you guys want to, please showcase your cool conversions. Showcase your cool characters. Let the world see it. Let the hobby see it. I'll leave it there. So as always, guys, keep rolling those dice, and I will see you later. Bye.